Alright guys, hello and welcome to another videos of picks and predictions. This time we are doing the RMR Group B, much stronger group, much more interesting group for personal reasons for me, and the obvious reasons because the teams are much stronger there. And like I said, the personal reasons for me are the iNation is playing the first Serbian team that's going to be attending the RMR's, the full Serbian team. Well, they have one Croatian, but you know what I mean. It's basically a Serbian-Croatian mix. But overall, the first team that from this type of region that's going to be making into the RMR, hopefully to the major too. And I think, like I said, that it's going to be the same. Like the concept of the show will be the same one, like the previous one. We're going to be going through the odds in the first matchup. Then we're going to be going to the the major matchup calculator to see who is going to make it to Paris. And without further ado, I think we can start. But before we start, we need to mention that 1xBet, as you can see it, well, right here, that and right there, and that the 1xBet is an official partner of this channel and this show, and they're providing us with a really good odds. And if you're gonna go there and register, make sure you use code 1x Kassad or Kassad 1x. They both work, and you get up to 130 euro bonus directly from me. It's a pretty decent platform. I use it all the time, and it's something that I would recommend. Anyway, coming into this RMR Group B, a lot stronger, and let's look at the teams first. And let's see what we have here. Obviously, lots of good teams: Heroic, Cloud9, Ents, Vitality, NIP, who is in shambles. Obviously, the big dog, G2. We have iNation, Astralis, who is fighting to come back to the major. A lot of a little bit of underdog teams like Force, who was in the quarterfinals of the Pro League, eliminated by the winner's phase in a 3-mapper. So a lot of good teams right now in this matchup, and it's going to be super interesting. And we can go straight into the very first round. We have Cloud9 against Force. Now this odds, they offer 137 for Cloud9. That's something that's okay to take, I believe. And even though Force is a team, like I said, they qualify for the quarterfinals. They were topping the group. They beat Ents, and they qualified there. They played a 3-mapper against FaZe, and it was a pretty decent game from them. If you want to go over something like a surprise, this would be a game that you might want to try it, because if Force win that best of one, it triples your money. I'm not really sure which way I'm gonna go yet, simply because I have to do a little bit more research. I have to go through the maps and everything else that's going on there, because I'm not really sure what Cloud9 is going to be comfortable playing, simply because they're really strange when it comes to ethos. But overall, both odds look okay. I think this is a fair position that the bookies have placed Cloud9 and Force at the same time. So it should be a very interesting game. It should go over 25 rounds. I don't know if it's available. It should go over 25.5, which offers 1.66. That's kind of the safe option here, but I'm gonna wait a little bit before I actually go into the betting for this game. So Cloud9, for me, I don't know. They did lost in the finals against FaZe in the Pro League. They did play well. I think they're gonna qualify today for Dallas. And overall, the event they won last year, first time as C9, so they're looking to win this one. So I do believe that they're going to be focusing mostly on this RMR, because they want to go into that major, and this should go in their favor. But like I said, I'm going to wait a little bit. Heroic against 500. Now, I don't like the odds here. The odds are too low for Heroic for me. 500 is a team that can surprise. The Bulgarians, they can surprise. They qualified through the open qualifiers there. Heroic is known for not playing the opener quite well. I think they have a problem in their very first games. This might be a problem. 500 to win quadruples your money if you want to go for it, but I still gonna have to. I don't like the setup of this odds. It should be a little bit higher for Heroic. I'm gonna skip this one. I'm not gonna bet on this one, and it's probably something that I would recommend for everyone else to do. I don't like the odds. Big against iNation. Now this is the most anticipated game for me of these two qualifiers, simply because this is a Serbian-Croatian team with one Croatian and 4 Serbians. They seem to be playing well in the past months. They almost got into the top 30 because, they don't play a lot of events that kind of can qualify them there, but they did qualify through the open qualifiers, and they earned their spot here. I know they're boot camping now quite a bit. They're getting ready for this event, and I think they're going to do okay. I don't know if they're going to qualify, but I think they're going to do quite well. They're playing against Big, who is in big trouble. Yes, they are playing the finals right now, or the semifinals, maybe the finals for the Blast Showdown. But I do believe they have a lot of problem. They're gonna have a lot of problem on LAN, and there is an upset potential here for iNation. They can actually do it. I think that they're playing LAN quite well, and I don't think there is an upset potential. I'm probably gonna put some money, like half a unit on iNation here on a best of one. Now Spirit against Aurora. The Spirit team has been underwhelming and has been, underperforming quite a bit. That's something that we didn't expect. We expected Wonderful and Patsy and, the Choppers, the whole team to be kind of on fire, because we are used to them playing well on these like big events. This is why I'm going to go for them to win against Aurora. Aurora is not a team to be joked about. Similar to Bait, they're very well respected in terms of like tier 2 scene and lower. It's very hard to defeat them. Best of one is their playground, but overall I have to go with Spirit, simply because the individual quality and the CS matchup that can go their way. 161 is a great odd for them, and I think I'm gonna take it. The next game is Ants against Monty. Ants is a team that played well in the Pro League. They managed to get into the quarterfinals. They lost. Managed to beat in the first and the second round. It was in the semifinals, actually. They lost in the semifinals, I believe. But they managed to eliminate Vitality. They managed to eliminate G2. So overall, they're playing well. I think they're feeling very, very good right now. And I do think they should win this one. They only have a lot of problems in these best of one LAN games. I think they're playing very well. They're preparing very well. I respect their coach quite a bit in the way they're preparing games. They're very serious about it. 145 for Ants is something that definitely worth taking. And I think it's quite understandable that these odds are pretty fair set. The next game is a classic. Well, not a classic, but some players are there that used to play these classics. It's Vitality against Astralis. Now, Vitality is a team that kind of it's hard to figure out. Every time you get 155 against the underdog with Zyvo in the team, you're gonna have to take it, simply because they are a much stronger team right now. Overall, they should have no problem dismantling Astralis. I was watching Astralis quite a bit. They did improve their game, but then there are maps like Inferno where I see different things, where Device is playing alone on Banana without any support. Blame is playing all right, but he's super defensive. Beatty, yes, he delivers a lot of frags, but sometimes they're pretty much useless. Overall, I don't think Vitality should have a lot of problems dismantling Astralis at all. 155 is a decent odd to take, and I think I'm gonna probably take it. The next game is 9in against G2. Now, this G2 team has been on fire during the Blast Finals and the Katowice, which they won. After that, in Pro League, they struggled. They lost to Cloud9, they lost to Ents, and it was a little bit, up and down. Right now, they're preparing very hard in going into this RMR. It's going to be a big deal for them. They focused everything. They didn't want to go to Rio simply because they want to get ready for the major if they qualify, which I think they will this time. And 117 is not good enough for me. I would probably skip this game because 9in is a team that is playing very well. We saw them beating Fnatic in that Blast Showdown, and they're playing quite well. They qualified through the open qualifiers, of course. I do believe they have a decent chance here. I don't think it's going to be super easy for G2 to actually defeat them. The odds are not set right for me. I'm skipping this game, even though I think G2 will win it. And then we have NiP against Eternal Fire. Now, this is a game that can be a trap if you're going to go for the favorite. NiP is playing quite bad lately. I don't know. They actually unpredictable would be the better word. And I think that they can take a map of Cloud9, but they can lose to anyone else. It's just so unpredictable. 165. If you're an NIP believer, yes, you can go for it. Last major qualifier, we had a similar situation with NIP where they didn't really play well, but they managed to qualify with a 3-0 score. So maybe it can happen this time too. Eternal Fire, they had this like fiery period, no pun intended, where they won that tournament against Bad News Eagles. They played well in the Pro League, but overall I wasn't really super excited about them. So giving them 2.1 is something that's too low for me. I think I would rather lean towards NIP in a best of one because I think they're stronger individually. Now that covers the first 8 games. Like I said, obviously we don't have any more odds simply because there is no any more matchups. We have to wait for these ones to go, but we're gonna go into the CS:GO major matchup calculator or simulator, whatever you wanna call it, and we're gonna go into the Group B. Now we have Heroic against 500. We said that Heroic is gonna win this one. It's not gonna be easy. Then we have Cloud9, and then we picked Spirit. Now these logos sometimes I don't even know what the hell is this. I know most of them. And then we have Spirit, who is going to beat Aurora. Big against T-Nation. I'm going to go with a surprise there. Ants is going to defeat... Who is Ants going to defeat? Let's see. I forgot. Yeah, Monty. Remember that, Kassad, please. Monty is going to be losing to Ants in the very first round, and then we have Astralis beating, Astralis losing to Vitality, NIP beating Eternal Fire, and G2 defeating 9in. That would put Heroic in a 1-0 matchup against iNation. I'm sorry, iNation, I love you, but I do have to pick Heroic because they're much more experienced, sharper, and a better team overall. Now, G2 against Cloud9 would be the second matchup. Now, this is very predictable. If this is a best of 3, I'm definitely going with Cloud9, but in a best of 1, I don't know which map is going to be because G2 is not going to allow Vertigo to be played, and obviously there's not going to be Overpass or a Nuke, so we might end up on something like Inferno or Ancient, which I believe it's a 50-50. I do think it's going to be a G2 win there, even though Cloud9 is a little bit better form. Spirit against NIP. This matchup has been played multiple times. Spirit always have their number. I do think the Spirit is going to win this one, and they're going to be winning the next one too, simply because I do feel like they're playing much better in the RMRs, in the major. But they're maybe playing against Heroic, so we'll talk about it a bit later. Ants against Vitality. We saw Ants defeating Vitality in a quite convincing fashion in Pro League, but this is a best of 1. I'm not really sure which way it's gonna go. We're not gonna see the strongest map from Ants, so we're also not gonna see the strongest map for Vitality, but overall I do think that Vitality might prevail this one, and they will probably win this one. Now, Big against 500. I don't trust Big at all. I have to go against them. I don't trust the way they play now. They have a lot of way from now to actually improve and get into the decent shape and look as a decent team. Right now, that's not the case. I'm picking 500, the Bulgarians, because it's a best of 1, and they tend to make surprises and upsets. 9in. Now this, I still don't know the logos, man. Now, this is Force? Yeah, this is Force, right? Yeah, okay. So Force against 9in. I have to pick Force on this one. Force has been playing quite well. They feel super confident right now. The way they're playing is just, much better than they used to do it online. So I have to pick them against 9in, even though 9in is a decent team and they're having some decent results. They're gonna lose this one, and Force is going to win this one. Eternal Fire against Aurora. I have to pick Eternal Fire simply because they're playing decent on this level against this opposition. They shouldn't have any problems. It should be a 16-10, 16-9 game, and I do think that Eternal Fire is gonna make 1-1 after the first day. And then Astralis against Monty. Astralis is not going to drop this one. They are going to focus their full energy to win against the teams they should be winning. In the first matchup, they would have Vitality. That's very unexpected for them to win. But in the second game, second best of 1 against Monty, it should be their victory. They should go 1-1, which leads us to round 3. And then we have some interesting games. Heroic against G2, and obviously Vitality against Spirit. That's the way this simulator predicted, together with me, obviously. But Heroic and G2, that's a matchup that can go either way. I do trust Heroic in this one more so than I would trust G2, simply because of the current form and the map pool. Because Heroic can play anything against G2, so they're not really afraid of Nuke or anything else. They are good to go on any map, and they seem to play well against them. Yes, they lost in that major semifinals, whenever that was, and a couple of times after, but I think they are ready for this one. They are ready to qualify as the first team for the blast from RMR Group B. Now, Vitality against Spirit. As much as I don't trust Vitality, I have to pick them to win this one in a best of three simply because the pieces they have, the importance of this game. Spirit is probably going to qualify, I think, in the very next round because they're playing well, but not against Vitality. I think Vitality is going to win this one, and it's going to be 2-0 as well. So, Vitality to win this one. The next one is Cloud9 against Eternal Fire. Now, Cloud9 is a team that plays well on the best of ones against the underdog teams, so they should be taking this with relative ease. I don't think there's going to be much issues there, and yeah, I think they're going to go 2-1 and they're probably going to qualify in the very fourth round. The next game is NIP against Force. Now, like I said, I don't trust NIP. I trust Force more simply because Force is a team that played well in the Pro League. They're not going to be afraid of. They're going to be playing well against these teams. They have a lot of confidence they're going to be winning this best of one. And Ants against 500. Ants, like I said, against weaker teams in a best of ones, they don't have any issues. And I think they're going to win this one. I don't think there is much of a chance for 500 there, which leaves us with iNation against Astralis. And iNation, like I said, as much as I like them, as much as I want them to go through, Astralis is going to be too big of a bite for them. And Astralis is going to take this one, especially because a best of one, I don't think anybody can in iNation can fight against the device and blame at the same time. It's very difficult. I think that Astralis is going to take this one. Ninin against Monty. I think Ninin is going to win this one. I don't trust Monty, even though they're fine. They're all good online. They have a respectable, reputation right now, as well as Aurora. But I do think Ninin is going to win this one simply because they have much more experience. And they're playing a little bit better right now. And I had more bigger games than Monty did, which leaves us with the very last game of round 3, and that's Big against Aurora. Now, Big, as bad as they are, as little I trust in them, I do think they're going to be prevailing against Aurora, and simply because, like I said, the experience, and I like the new guy, I like the hyped guy. I think he's a decent opper, but he's still too young, but he will maybe not be able to manage some of the pressures from bigger teams, but this one he will handle, and they will win. And then we are going to round number 4, where we have Heroic and Vitality already qualified, and then we have G2 against Force. I have to pick G2 here. I don't think they're going to be struggling against a team like Force, simply because they have a decent map pool. I did not know both teams like to play Nuke, but it can be a trap for Force, because if they fall into that trap, they might lose, simply because G2 is playing very well on that map, and then after that, probably something like Mirage, Range, I'm not really sure, but overall, the G2 team should be able to qualify with 3-1 here and win over Force. Now, Cloud9 Astralis, as much as I want Astralis to go through, as much as I think they're playing better, I don't think they will be able to beat Cloud9 in a best of 3, not even in a million years. I do think that Cloud9 is going to win this one. They're going to win it comfortably because they know how to handle these teams, and they're really qualifying with a 3-1 score. And then we have Spirit against Ents. Now, this is an interesting matchup. This is a straight up 50-50. I do believe that Ents won't be able to match Spirit in this one. I do think that Spirit is going to be playing with another gear on this RMR. I think they're going to be qualifying. I think they're going to be beating Ents, and it might go to all 3 maps, but they are going to be making it from the round number 4. And then we're going to the lower bracket of the round number 4, which is iNation against Eternal Fire. Now, this is a different story for iNation. It's not a big team. It's not like Heroic or Astralis. They're going to be mentally better prepared for this game, simply because it's an elimination game. You have nothing more to lose. They won't respect Eternal Fire as they do Heroic or Astralis or anything like that. I do believe iNation can win this one and actually make it to the 5th round, and possibly, if they don't qualify, into that last chance qualifier. Now, 500 against 9-in. Yes, 500 is a decent team. Yes, they have a best of 1 upset potential. In a best of 3, I think the 9-in team is much stronger, and I do think they're gonna win and get themselves into the 5th round. The very last game on that 4th round is going to be an interesting one. That's going to be NIP against Big, and I think this is the end of the road for Big. I think NIP with the team they have right now, they are better. Even though the problems they're experiencing right now, they should be in a better position in a best of 3 to win against Big. So I do think that they're gonna do it, and they're gonna again get into that fifth position and get into the last chance qualifier. And then we have 3 matchups left. The teams that are going through are going to be Vitality, Heroic, G2, Cloud9, Spirit, eliminated teams Aurora, Monte, Big, Eternal Fire 500. And we have the 3 matchups remaining. That's Force against iNation. Now Force, I think they're much stronger at this point. They have a lot more experience when it comes to bigger matches and LAN events. They play the Pro League. They managed to play into the playoffs, so they felt that, you know, experience right now. And I think they're gonna beat quite easily iNation, which puts them into the major in Paris and puts iNation into the last chance qualifier. Astralis against Ninin. Astralis is gonna win this one. I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Ninin simply because, like, if you win this one, you go to the major. I don't think they're going to be ready for that. Astralis, you know, they're not going to be feeling any pressure except for maybe Buzz. I mean, they're going to be motivated and hyped, but no pressure whatsoever for Glaive, Device, or Blame, or Zipnix for that matter. So I do think Astralis is going to win this one. And then Ents against NIP, definitely Ents. I am believing in Snappy and Madden to deliver this one, even though they're probably going to have some problems during this qualifier. I do believe they're going to make it with a 3-2, and they're going to, you know, win this game against NIP, who is going to have their chance in the last chance qualifier and probably going to make it through there, which leaves us in the final standings that we have. It would be that the qualified teams before the last chance qualifier would be Ents, Astralis, Force, Spirit, Cloud9, G2, Heroic, and Vitality. And that would conclude all of these teams. We don't know who is going to be. I'm not going to go through the last chance qualifier because I'm not really sure about the rules yet. Is it a best of 1? Is it something different? We're going to have to wait and see. By the way, guys, I think this concludes the whole video. And by the way, if you like this content, if you have your own predictions, if you think somebody else is going to go through or something else we haven't, just leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. It will be the North American RMR. See you later.